You want woke lefty turds like me to get on with my life. But you...
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Hi, thank you so much for meeting with us. Let's get started. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So we require a bachelor's and a master's,
Alright.
4 recommendation letters.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally do that.
Perfect. So this job starts at $11.50 an hour, no bonuses.
Alright.
Weekends mandatory.
Okay.
4 days of PTO a year.
Yeah.
$2 raise every...
Okay, you guys, is it just me or is job search becoming ridiculous? To be considered for this role, you must include a letter addressed to Albus Dumbledore. Even Dumbledore is confused. He's like, leave me out of your recruitment shenanigans. No, I'm done. Not today.
We have 19-year-olds calling in sick for work because they have seasonal depression. Pop a vitamin D.
I find it rather interesting that about 80 to 90% of the people that say this type of stuff have a worse work ethic than me. At my previous job, I was a meter tech for an electric company, and they told me quota is 42 a day. You gotta hit 42 houses a day. 1 month into the job, I'm hitting 35 by lunch. At my current job as an air balancer, the guy that's training me has been there for 9 years, and he says it takes people usually a year to get into the field by themselves. He says I'll be on my own by 6 months. And I think it's really funny that one day at my meter tech job, I went up to my supervisor and I was like, hey, when you guys were hiring me, I didn't put down the mental health stuff because I know it can affect my ability to get hired. I just want to tell you I'm having one of those down days, like, is it cool if I go home? And she was just like, yeah, bro, you're good. You can go home. You show up every single day on time. You work your ass off. You're fine. And I think it's really funny that people like this tend to complain about people like me when 9 times out of 10, your boss would give me a promotion over you.
The Great Resignation is over. We're now in one of the hardest employer markets I've ever seen. I've been in the recruitment space for coming up to a decade, and ever since I've been in the recruitment space, it's always been a candidate market, meaning that employers have really struggled to recruit top talent. That's not the case right now. There are less jobs, and there are a lot of really qualified people on the market. Back in 2021, when we had the Great Resignation, where basically everybody was leaving their jobs for more money, people would have 3-4 job offers at a time. Now what I'm hearing from people is they're applying for 100, 200, 300 jobs just to get one callback and go through an interview process. They're probably competing against 20 or 30 other people, and not many people are getting offers. So guys, I will say 2 things. Number 1, the market always goes back and forth. So things will get better over time. When that will be, I'm not sure. I'm thinking 9 to 18 months. And number 2, if you're on the job search, it means that it's going to be more competitive. It means that the job search is just going to take longer. It means you've got to apply to more jobs. It means you got to go through more interviews. You got to be really prepared, and you've got to be getting better at interviewing if you really want to land the job. I say this not to be negative, but just so you know, like, it's really not a you issue, it's a market issue. With it being an election year, I'm not sure it will recover before the election, but certainly once the election is over, there'll be more certainty on the future, and companies will start to hire again. I always advise, make sure your resume is on point, and make sure that you're networking and building relationships in your space, having as many conversations as possible.
American Airline, Texas. They're looking to cut 500. Good luck, people. Good luck. This is crazy. They're looking to do this the 30th of next month. That's crazy. Oh, and it's permanent. You ain't going back. That's crazy.
Come with me to get laid off.
Get ready with me to get laid off.
I need to inform you that your position has been eliminated.
This cost of living crisis is absolutely cooked. I just walked into Woolies to get body wash, and I walked out having spent $222.09. Yes, I scrunched it up in a rage of fury. Admittedly, I had to get a whole heap of chocolate up and goes because my grown brother will not start his day any other way, and some vitamin C shots for me because my immune system is really bad. However, 2 bags of groceries cost me $222. What is going on? Coles and Woolworths do better. It is times like these that I fully appreciate and understand why the government is launching I want to say Royal Commission, Senate inquiry into grocery prices.
Childcare costs more than college tuition in more than half of U.S. states. Care.com recently released the 2024 Cost of Care report, and the results are jaw-dropping. About 47% of parents are spending up to $18,000 a year on childcare, while 20% reported spending over $36,000 annually. The cost of care for babies and toddlers, it's more than parents would pay for 4 years of in-state public university that includes tuition, fees, room, and board. In fact, parents are paying on average $1,031 more a year for childcare than the cost of public college tuition. On average, families spend 24% of their income on childcare when, according to the government, affordable childcare should be no more than 7%. We've reached a breaking point with the childcare crisis, and it affects more than just parents. According to Care.com CEO Brad Wilson, it's a system failure that impacts our country's economic growth, as parents are forced into a financial hole the first 5 years of their children's lives. And according to economist Keisha Blair, the United States has the most educated workforce of women in the labor market, but the lowest labor force participation rate of women. And we don't even have time to go into how the pandemic affected child care centers, but let's just say with the expiration of federal funding in September of 2023, child care spots and jobs for child care providers are disappearing. This issue goes beyond just parents. It's about what we expect from our institutions and how we're cared for by the powers that be. We should all be outraged, whether we have kids or not.
You want woke lefty turds like me to get on with my life, but you forget that this government are the reason why I can't. I'd like to be able to get a mortgage, but the average house price is 8 times the average salary, compared with 3.5 times as it used to be for generations before me. I've got health problems and would love to be able to get seen by the specialist, but NHS waiting lists are the highest they've been in forever. I'd love to be able to travel more and do some more work in Europe, but my freedom of movement was taken away from me against my will. I'd love to be able to save and go on holiday, but the cost of living crisis means that every single penny I earn is going straight back out again on necessities. So yeah, I will grow up and get on with my life when this government allow me to do so.
I would much rather sell to somebody like me, a single mother or a small family.
You know what? I ain't never even really thought about this until just now. I'm just now realizing everybody is crying and complaining about, oh, the investors. But you know what? The people that's out here that's like, oh, it's the investors. Y'all the ones keep selling your house to the investors. Like, I never really thought about it until I just saw her post. And basically she was saying she don't know what she want to do. You know, should she sell? Should she not? Should she sell to an investor? She said she would rather sell to a family or something like that. And I mean, I guess I have heard every now and again a family say something like, I would rather to sell to, you know, keep the integrity in the neighborhood. Like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that to my neighbors. Whoop-de-whoop. But you know what? People blaming the corporations. But the reality is, it's families in the neighborhoods that's taking the money from the corporations. So is it really the corporations that's causing the problem, or is it our own personal greed and we're not thinking about the next person? So shout out to her for thinking about the next person and understanding when you sell your home to an investor, it's going to be like that for the next 30 years. They're not coming up off it. They're not getting rid of it. That house that you've made memories in, that with your children, nobody will have that opportunity again to own that home and make memories and build future wealth for their family and their future kids.
Hey, everything alright in here? Yep, just relaxing. Great. The heck is this? Oh, that's what we call rent. What's that? Oh, rent is where you give me money at the end of each month. Is the amount reasonable at least? Son of a... Well, if you don't pay it, you won't go to jail, but you will be homeless. Now I wish rent was like taxes. Oh, and rent just went up. By how much? $200. Well, I mean, that's not too bad. Oh, rent just went up, so... I heard you the first time. No, it went up again by another $200. Is this legal? No, but for the sake of this skit, it probably still isn't. Did you just... Nope, no idea what you're talking about. Please leave, sir. Okay. Hey, buddy. What do you want? Just asking where my money is. It has only been an hour and I don't get paid until tomorrow. Oh, and rent just went up again. Seriously? Yeah, you might want to take out a loan. I'm sorry for your loss, sir. Well, how much is rent now? $2,024. Well, it could be worse. It's like I never stop talking to the IRS guy. Well, actually... Well, screw you too. Alright, I somehow managed to get $2,024. Hopefully rent doesn't go up again. Alright, let's get this over with. So for this month, you owe me $4,000.32. Wait, what? Sir, I told you rent was going up. It's about to go higher as my foot up.
I'm looking for a job. Actually looking for applicants right now. We have a role open and we'd love to hire someone. Awesome. Where's the application? Hold on there, kiddo. You're gonna need to make a portal first. I can totally do that. Hold on. You're gonna need to make a password that has 10 characters, a weird symbol, and then no repeating numbers. Okay, sure, no problem. Would you like to receive updates on new jobs? And yes, I would love that. Okay, here's the application. Just submit your resume and your cover letter. Submitted my resume, and it looks like this is gonna auto-pop you... This is all messed up. Yeah, we're gonna need you to submit your resume and then re-put in the information correctly. Okay, no problem, I can fix that. I'll edit everything, no problem. It's just 12 years of work experience. Where's your cover letter? I have one here and it's listed out all of the values of your company and how I embody them. Here you go. We'll get back to you really soon. Hey, just checking in. I've been like 2 weeks. Yeah, we haven't looked at your application yet. No worries. Do you think anyone will be able to look at it soon? No problem. It's been another week. Has anyone looked at my application? You think we looked at your application? Oh my god, no! We didn't look at that. I have a reference and cover letter and resume and I did everything that you guys asked for. Who cares? We had 500 other people do the exact same thing. And we didn't even give anyone a job. This was a fake rec to create a pipeline. Is anyone going to get the job? No! Is there any jobs available that I can do? No! I don't understand. Why would you do this? Because fuck you!
The jobs report is out, and they're bragging about how good they did. Except here's how they lie to you with numbers. Last year, they reported month-over-month job increases of 2.7 million. But then came back later and said, we really overestimated by 650,000. It was really only 2.1. In the month of June alone, they reported 209,000 jobs, and then came back and said, we actually doubled it. It was only 105,000. Sorry. In November, they reported 199,000 new jobs, but failed to include the fact that 47,000 of those were auto workers who had gone on strike, came back to work, and they recorded it as a new job. 50,000 of those were government jobs, and 36,000 were only part-time. That means the net job increase, about 60,000. That's called lying with numbers. They do that so that they can keep interest rates high, keep driving inflation up, which causes higher taxes, which brings in more revenue. They're taking more of your money by lying to you. That's how it's done.
I'm officially unemployed. I was recently laid off from my company in corporate America. It is devastating to be working and have a job. I was in my job for almost 2 years, and then all of a sudden you're not employed as of that day. The financial climate is not looking very promising, and companies have to make really hard decisions. For the last few days, I have been on the job hunt. There are so many people looking for jobs right now. It's impossible to find something. Every time I go on LinkedIn, for example, you'll see a position posted, particularly remote positions, 2 hours ago and there's already over 100 applicants. It is so overwhelming and so discouraging. I have applied to over 30 jobs, already got no thank yous, or job was filled, or they're closing applications because they got too many. From about 50% of those, and I'm waiting to hear back from. I just don't know how it's feasible for people. The unemployment wages in Florida are completely laughable. So I decided to apply for unemployment since I am unemployed and I need some source of income. I am a high earner, so I made a really large salary. The maximum you can get in Florida, maximum, is $275 a week. How can anyone live?
Bell Canada has announced plans to cut 9% of its workforce in 2024.
The company announcing this morning that about 4,800 people are going to be laid off in its largest restructuring initiative in 30 years. A message to employees cites difficult economic conditions, declining ad revenues, and regulatory decisions as factors behind the layoffs. Details of the cuts are expected over the next couple of weeks. Of course, CP24 is owned by Bell.
If you've never had to deal with layoffs, then first of all, congratulations, you're one of God's favorites. But in today's economy, we just need to be smart, so please listen to this advice from someone who has been laid off twice in a row and had their computer access taken in like 10 minutes. Please save every file, every document, every contact, every email, anything that you think you may need after leaving a place of work. Please make sure that you have all of that saved on your personal devices, on your personal email, sensitive information, whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. But make sure your portfolio is up to date. We love to talk about having your resume up to date. Make sure you have everything else. Do you see what I'm saying? Make sure you have everything else.
The bearer of bad news, but unfortunately there will be a significant amount of layoffs.
I wish she wasn't speaking facts, but she really is. A lot of companies are doing layoffs, and the best thing that you can do right now if you are employed is to look for another opportunity or just keep your options open. The mistake a lot of people will make is that they'll rely on the company that they work at for their benefits, for their salary, for everything. When in fact, you need to put yourself out there and even test the market to see if there's any other opportunities that you can get. Because the best time to look for a job is when you already have one. And you can be so good at your job, but you're a small fish in a big pond, and senior leadership, if they don't know you, well, when they're looking at people to lay off, you might be a part of that.
So what I'd recommend is to always be networking, whether it's people who are hiring, especially those with the purple circle, or people who are in positions in industries that can influence decisions. Hope that helps. And how did you know all this? Because you follow me, Jonathan Words of Wisdom.
Bro, chill. Everybody ain't got their rent money.
What did I tell you?
Oh, shit.
You. What did I tell you that was going to happen?
Babe, go on the secret stash. The landlord tripping again.